Hi, welcome to Kyhmah 102. I'm Rainey, and in this video, I want to talk a little bit more about self-love and maybe give a few tips or just share with you some things that I did that helped me out when I was first made aware that I didn't realize what self-love actually was not. And let's see, I mean, the overall goal for Kyhmah Vision is that every single person that comes to participate in a vibrational, musical, creational healing ceremony or whatever we're going to call it. I have no idea what it's called. Just a group of talent getting together and pouring out what's in ourselves in a way where the love that we have can help heal others, and doing it in a musical way. But in order for that to really manifest itself in a true vibration, we have to first have enough self-love within ourselves so that the overflow is what is given out, not what we have just enough for ourselves. It's the extra. It's the cup runneth over, that portion, the remnant, like I talked about in those a couple of videos back. I guess this would be Kyhmah Vision 102 video 2. I'm just going to continue to number because obviously it's working for me. It's not something that I'm willing to give up. So instead of fighting with myself, I'm just going to go ahead and keep numbering the videos. Okay, so Kyhmah Vision and self-love. Okay. Just to give you some idea of some of the things that helped me to understand what self-love was. And this was, and this is not easy. It's not been easy. Okay. For those of you who are saying self-love, I've been practicing self-love since 1988. Or that's old hat or whatever. Wonderful. Great. Please leave some suggestions for us. There are so many of us who we've been absorbed in what self-love was not, that we never even realized some of the things that we were doing to ourselves that basically said that there was no self-love. So this vision is for those, okay? So one of the things that I did, and I'll just put it out there, I'm a writer. I like to write. For each, there is a different method. There is no methodology to this. This is just something that I did. This is a suggestion. This is not a a demand. This is like me sharing what I did, okay? So what I do, and I still do this to this day, I keep a journal. First with me, because I am a writer, whenever I go out, I always look for a journal that looks like how I'm feeling at that moment. So like I never just go and get a journal. I actually will, while I'm out, I will shop for a journal. Like I will look for the binding, the artwork. It has to kind of look like how I'm feeling at the time, and then of course I purchase it, and then I'll take it home, and if I'm ready to pour out what's in me, I'll select a journal, and then I'll come back to myself and I'll say, okay, Project Rainbird or Project Rainy or whatever I'm going to call it, and I'll just start making chapter pages of how I see my future self, and everything that I do in my daily day, just in my day-to-day walk, just in me just living my life, has to be in line with my future self. And that is how I started to practice self-love. I saw areas of weakness, great weakness, because, when I look at my future self, I don't see a weak person. I see a woman who is aged, but like saged. I see a wise woman. I see a woman who is beautiful inside and out. I see an intellectual woman who speaks her mind and who's confident. I mean, all the things that I am appearing for myself and digging inside myself to become today is just even greater is what I see myself then in my future. And my future doesn't always have to be far out. It could just be the next 30 minutes. That's how I got started. Okay, in the next 3 minutes, how do I see my future self? What do I see my future self doing? What would I want my future self to be doing 3 minutes from now? Okay, 3 minutes from now, I'd want to see my future self on that treadmill, because I know I have a goal. I know that it's going to help me singing. It's going to help my vocals. It's going to help everything. In 3 minutes, I want to see my future self on that treadmill. And then I start getting ready, and I put on my sweats, and I put on my sneakers. And guess what? In 3 minutes, now I'm practicing self-love because I'm in alignment with my future self. So let's say, okay, what is self-love not? Okay, this is what self-love is not. Okay, it's Sunday. Let's say it's Sunday. Or whatever, any given day. I don't know why I do that. Any given day, okay, any given day. And 2 days from today, you wrote in your calendar, or you sent yourself a reminder that 2 days from today, you're going to go for a hike in the national forest, because you have been longing for the smell of nature and the smell of soil and dirt and trees and whatnot. So you're going to go for a 2-hour hike. You put it in your calendar. 2 days come, and it's in your calendar, but your girlfriend calls you, and she's having a crisis with her on again, off again boyfriend, and she really needs your support. This is what self-love is not. Okay, I can always go to the national forest for a hike some other time. So-and-so needs me. I got to be there for them, That's not self-love. Because that situation has nothing to do with where you're going and where you're headed. That is not self-love. That's what self-love is not. Now, in this scenario, here's what self-love is. 2 days is here. Oh, here comes your girlfriend calling. Oh, so-and-so and such broke up with me. I don't know what to do. I'm having it. You know what? Why don't you meet me at the Jefferson National Forest Park, and we'll go for a hike and we'll talk it out. Now, that's practicing self-love, okay? Because not only are you keeping your commitment and your promise to yourself for something you desire that's important to you, that you wanted to do that. When you wrote it in your calendar, you were like, yeah, I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to go hiking, and I'm going to smell the dirt, and I'm going to hug a tree, and that was you making a promise to your future self of a wonderful day, something that you desperately needed. And here comes someone who is important to your life, and it's also important to your future self that you maybe be viewed as somebody who is reliable or somebody that can be counted on. And if your character doesn't already show that, then you have to reassess that relationship. But my point is, you practice, showing yourself self-love by keeping that commitment to yourself. I just decided that I wasn't going to do anything that didn't line up with my future self. I wasn't going to be. I quit smoking. I started working out. I started drinking more water. I started taking better care of myself. I love sitting out in the sun and just absorbing the sun and I just love doing that, and I had stopped doing that for a while. And so now I'm back to doing that again because that makes me happy. And it's good for my future self. You know, I'm absorbing vitamin D. I'm in the sunshine. I do live in a solar system. I am a black woman. If you haven't, I need the sun like the sun needs me. I'm a part of the solar system. I need sun. I'm organic, you know. So small things like that. The other thing that I started to do, aside from, you know, writing out things that I notice about myself that are seriously compromising, like the way, and we all do it because we're all human beings. And if you're not doing this and you've mastered a way of not doing this, I really would like for you to share that way with me. I've recently been very made aware of the way I communicate with myself and how I think of myself when I make mistakes. As if I'm not supposed to make mistakes. As if, how dare I learn and grow? How dare I trust? How dare I, you know, it's like we deal with ourselves in a way that if we heard ourselves saying this to someone else, we would think we were the ugliest person. And I've stopped all that. That's foolishness. No, when something comes up, I love you, self, enough to say, no, I'm not going to discard you. Let's look at this. Okay, this is what actually happened. But it happened not because you are a mean or stupid or simple individual. It happened because you got excited and you forgot to put yourself first. Remember, put yourself first. In all things, you are the center of the universe. Without you, there is no me or I or we. Or if only one of us existed, we wouldn't exist at all. So we need to understand that we are each individually a part of what makes everything exist. And so therefore we each are the center of the universe. And I don't mean to sound like narcissistic. I know some people will say that. And some people will say, well, that's kind of vain. No, it's not. It's not vain. Not when you can see yourself as the old woman begging on the corner and the dolphin in the ocean choking from a plastic hook. It's not vain when you can see yourself as the same person who is behind prison because they made a mistake than the person that is sitting at the church pew praising the Lord. That's not vain. It's not vain that you can see yourself that way. It is an obligation to humanity to see ourselves that way. It is an obligation to see ourselves as people who are part of a whole. You know, portions. We are portions of a greater whole. And if we can't see ourselves in everything that is created, then we don't really stand a chance at changing things. And it's funny because I was thinking the other day, everything that exists needs to exist. Everything that is needs to be. Everything that we need to overcome has to be there in order for us to advance, in order for us to stretch and grow and expand. And so if we can understand that we're just human beings in the world making mistakes so that we can grow and expand and just be a part of the collective as a whole, together, moving as one, but individually, if we can see that about ourselves, then we can understand that there's no need for us to get angry with each other. There's no need for us to get possessive of one another or violent with one another. There's no need for us to put demands on each other's graves. I mean, well, that's just where my mind tends to go. But I hope this has given you some kind of connection with how I feel about self-love. And I don't mean to sound, you know, like somebody who has it all together, because I don't. My hands are up in the air. I'm hurtling through outer space just like you. I'm being tossed into the vast beyond. I have no idea what I am doing. I just know that I need to do this, and I have to do it now, and I'm done disobeying my future self's calling for me to sow certain seeds so that I could have a certain harvest. And if you've enjoyed this video, then you're just like me, and I look forward to speaking with you again, and I'll see you on the other side in the next video. Bye for now.